She was here by 5:30. So please, a round of applause for her. Thank you. Thank you for keeping time. It is a virtue. Thank you. Well noted. So we are going to have Fonzia Wangeshi to lead us in the word of prayer. Fonzia Wangeshi. Yeah. Karibu, karibu, karibu.
Good evening, everyone. I'm happy to see you all, and I can say I'm impressed by what I've seen. Okay, so let's pray. Father, in the mighty name of Jesus, we come before you this evening. I want to thank you for making us be available here at this gathering, because you know what it has taken for us to organize and make it, to actualize it. We ask you to guide us, and may you bless us, may we live here better people. I pray this, believing and trusting.
Amen. Amen. So, a few things to note. First of all, thank you so much for adhering to the dress code. Everyone looks good, fabulous in their African wear. So this is an African-themed dinner event. And one of the things we're going to do is that we're going to recognize the best dressed people in the room. So the best dressed gent and lady. And Musa will be telling us in a bit how we are going to do the voting. So just a bit, Musa, before we get there. Then we also have a few booklets that are on the table. If you've not opened them, I assure you they're not hymns of faith. And because I come from an Anglican background, so when we see such books put on the table, we know, we are in for hymns. So we'll have Gabriel come and tell us more of that, what that is, as he also officially opens the dinner event. So, Musa, would you like to introduce yourself as you also tell us about the voting?
So this evening I'm amazed because of the essence, the fragrance. You all look distinguished. My name is Musa Kamusa. You can call me Mashango if you can pronounce it. Also the co-hosts. So we will be voting for the best dressed person by the end of the day. So make sure you get good votes for your outfit. Because for me, I think everybody is well dressed today. So I'll be giving out the procedure of voting as we proceed. But now, back to you, Ivy.
Okay, thank you, Musa. So this being an African-themed dinner, we have to think African. I don't know what sayings exist in your community. One saying that I can remember, but not really from my community, it's just African, is that if you're a man selling eggs, you shouldn't be the one causing a fracas or a fight in the village. Musa, might you have another one from your community or an African saying?
I don't know, but I think somebody must be having one here. What do you think? What saying do you have in your community?
No, Musa, don't ambush someone.
She is shy. Sounds like a tongue twister.
Any interesting African sayings from your community or another community you've interacted with? Best answer gets a prize. So that's how we're going to roll this night. Any interesting African sayings from your community? Kelvin, you're laughing and you have an answer? Musa, there's a volunteer there.
Okay.
So any Kikuyu around will help me translate. It's difficult. This is what my mom always tell me. Moshariogeda mwagaga. I don't know how to translate that. The wise doesn't lack. Yeah? The wise doesn't lack.
The wise don't lack. Please. Kelvin, yes? Say it again.
Moshariogeda mwagaga.
Okay. We might have someone to help us translate that later. In the meantime, Gabriel, we would like to officially. Oh, yes. Yes, it is. Okay. As Gabriel breathes in and out. Final question before I give it to him. What two things, now this is a riddle, what two things can't you have for dinner? Because we're inviting him to, oh, you have a say. Oh, so, sorry. What two things can't you have for dinner? Riddle me that. You're here for dinner, right? What do things don't you expect to have this evening? We have an answer here. Let me just bring the mic to you.
Is it breakfast and lunch?
I didn't know it was that easy. Please, a clap for him. And I expected at least a few more answers coming from the university students. You will have a few more chances to redeem yourselves, though. So, Gabriel was right behind me, right? Oh, just that I'm not doing. You're ready, or a few? Okay. Please, how do we welcome Gabriel? A round of applause, please.
Hello. Someone is calling me at this time, and maybe someone can help me. It's Machango. It's someone, I think, someone from Sanlam. So if you can just help me. Well, it's a joy to have you guys here. This is amazing. I think for me, this is the moments that I love. To have guys here in the room. Thank you guys for coming. Today, this year's dinner is amazing. Sada, you look amazing. Right? How many people think that Sada looks amazing? Yes. I'm just trying to bribe the voting to go her way. Anyway, but Aylf, most of you have been part of this journey for a while. Most of you have been part of our conversations for just a short period, so you're wondering, what is all this about? Aylf originally was started in Uganda, launched in Uganda in 2007 of October. In Kenya, we started doing Aylf in 2008 of March. Now, for you to appreciate how far we've come, the first ever Aylf dinner was done in 2009. Machanga, I think I need my phone for some things, so if you don't mind. So the first ever Aylf India dinner was done in 2009, and I was wondering whether I should bring up that photo so that you could see the kind of guys who attended that dinner. But that dinner was hosted at Mr. Sam Owen's house, and we were a small number of people. We were about 12 guys, and that is 2009. I don't know where some of you were in 2009, but I don't want to start asking, because probably some of you, I don't know what was going on. But that journey has been an amazing journey in that over the years, we've done dinners almost every year other than last year. And of course, you understand why we didn't do it last year, because of COVID. We tried doing it, but finally we realized we are pushing too hard. But this year we said, why not try it again? And thank you guys for coming to make this possible. Thank you guys for gracing our occasion, and thank you guys for choosing to spend your evening with us. So if you're just wondering, so what is Aylf really all about? So the journey for us started that far in 2007, and it's been a journey of trying to reach out to university students and student leaders, primarily with a desire to help them appreciate a different narrative around leadership. Because all of us have different versions and narratives and understanding of what really does it mean for leadership. What does it mean to be a leader? And so our commitment with students and student leaders would be to help them appreciate a different dynamics and a different narrative of leadership. And we've done series of programs. We do a lot of small groups in campuses. We do a lot of programs that really tries to really reach out to students to encourage them to appreciate a different dynamics of leadership. And so that for us has been an interesting journey. Another aspect of what we do is really to build a community of friends. That these guys, while in campus, they will learn to be able to work together and lock hands together as friends, and to learn how to pray for one another, how to play with each other, with one another, how to stand with each another, how to hold each other accountable, and really how to grow as committed committed friends with one another. And for us, that has been a great journey. Right now, as I speak, we are in about 28 university campuses where we have small groups ongoing and meeting every week. That journey did not start at 28. It started with one group that used to meet at the box of Nairobi University. And that is where that group started. And with that small group meeting every Saturday, and before we realize, it moved to a different campus, to another campus, to another campus, and at this point we're in 28 university campuses. And for me, that is something to celebrate. That is something to be proud of, that we have been able to achieve that kind of milestone. One of the most important things that makes us unique and special, and I'm yet to meet, and someone can question this, but really makes us unique is our focus on the teachings of Jesus. And for me, that is, and when we talk about Jesus, it's not the way we view the Jesus, the Christian way and all those things. Because in our work, when we talk about Jesus, we realize that Jesus cuts across. Because Jesus is a prophet to the Muslims. And so that is why even the Muslim young students are willing to interact with us and be part of Aylf because they appreciate that for them, the teachings of Jesus are teachings passed down by a prophet. The prophet that they respect, a prophet that they honor, a prophet that they are called upon to follow. And I remember once a while, even a Hindu young lady also coming to me and telling me they also honor and appreciate the teachings of Jesus. And so for us, that then makes us unique without getting too religious, but to focus on the teachings of Jesus and use that as a springboard, as a foundation for the values that we are trying to communicate to our student leaders and the students that we work with. And so over the years, these are some of the things that personally, being part of this journey, I've come to appreciate and really honor. And really even as you come as part of Aylf, these are the things that for us we encourage guys, and personal lessons that I've learned. That consistency is very important. And over this year, it's been a journey of consistency. Showing up even if you don't know what you're talking about sometimes. But showing up. And I remember some allow me to say this, I remember when we started this journey, and I would meet some almost every week. And sometimes I didn't even know what I was talking about. But he was patient enough to listen. And this journey has been because of that. I showed up, and sometimes I didn't even know what was going on. But all I did was, I was always present. And that for me means a lot. And that for me is something that I encourage all of us. And of course, doing the next thing right in front of you. And sometimes you gotta just get to do the next thing right in front of you without hesitating and waiting for the perfect time to do everything the way you wanna do it. And for me, that is very important. That is the journey of Aylf. That this far we have come, coming to 14 years later, is always doing the next thing right in front of you. What do we need to do to communicate what we are trying to do? And for me, the most powerful is finding someone who believed in me enough. And that again, I go back to some. Believed in me enough to take me in, to hold my hand, sometimes when I'm struggling with my own issues, but he was available. And so, one thing that I encourage you is to find someone to believe in you. And even this dinner is a journey of people who have believed in Aylf. We have deans of students here who've joined us today. And they believe that whatever Aylf is doing is something of value, something that maybe if they paid more attention to, is going to help transform the kind of students they work with in campus. I remember a while back, some asking me, Gabriel, what do you see as the future of this work? And this is way back in 2008, thereabout. And I told him, I don't know. But one thing I know, I wish in the coming prayer breakfast of 2008, we'll bring a group of students together and have a retreat. And someone was kind enough to allow that to happen. And long story short, we had the first ever student leaders retreat in 2008. Again, a journey of someone just choosing to believe on another person. Now, we have a lot of young people in this room. And I believe in young people. A lot of young people who are looking for just someone to believe in them. And your presence in this room, our senior friends, your presence in this room is a testament that you're willing to do that. to believe in the young people. The other day I was in a meeting and someone kept talking and talking how young people are lost. Young people don't even know what they want. Young people, we should even... But I was wondering, what does this guy mean? Does he even know there are young people who are waking up every day, trying their best, and all they need is someone to hold their hand and tell them, keep at it, be consistent. If you ever need a shoulder to lean on, come, let's talk about it. And that's all young people need. It's hard to understand them, but that's all they need. I personally believe in small numbers, and that's why we do small groups. For a very long time, we used to cap our dinner numbers to be very small, Nowadays, we're trying to entertain higher numbers. We're expecting about 160, 170 people in this room today. That, for me, is such a big number that I keep wondering, what are we doing? Maybe we are getting off the track. But again, we want people to come to celebrate with us. And so tonight is a day of celebration. Tonight is a day for us to celebrate what this year has been. And even as we look amazing around the table, I want to officially welcome all of us. And I see some people are just coming in. You guys are most welcome. I want to officially welcome all of us to this celebration dinner. And if ever you ever forget anything, I want to finish with one of my favorite things. So one of the joys of being of Aylf for me is that in most of the time, I don't always have to figure it all out because I don't know. And for me, is the desire always to work with people who I believe God has put something in their lives and God has equipped them to come on board and play their part. And for me is to create a platform, and that is what we've done with the young people. Create that space for them to come in and play their part, and maybe with them, and there's an invincible hand of God. An invincible hand of God that weaves all this together. At the end of the day, if you ask me 14 years ago, almost 14 years ago, if this would be happening, I'll probably tell you. I'll probably not figure it out. I'll probably not even tell you. But I'm glad that we're here today. And I'm very grateful that in that my desire just to keep going even when things don't look as you wish they should look. Even sometimes when you don't even know what you're doing, but just keeping on pushing. So thank you guys for coming. And I have my wife. If you don't mind, I can introduce my wife. I have someone he's the one who asks me and prays for me a lot. And really, my dear, can you just stand up? These people need to know you. We've been married for 11 years, and if there's anything that she's done day by day is to pray for me. And sometimes to ask me questions about what is going on and be my silent, even if nothing doesn't work out there. When I go home, I know she's always there, my super fan, and she's my biggest fan. So thank you guys. This dinner is for you guys. You guys have fun, celebrate. There'll be dancing at the end of it. The dancing will be happening here. So please don't leave without dancing and enjoy yourself. Ivy, I think that's it for me. And I welcome everybody. Dr. Kalua, you're most welcome. Good to see you. I know you came with your team. The deans are over here. I'll be doing that as Ivy is walking over. You have your own microphone. We have Dr. Cosmas. Are you a doctor? Mr. Cosmas. Mr. Cosmas, who is our chairman of the trustees. Thank you, Mr. Cosma, for being here. And Ndubi, thank you for being here as part of one of our senior friends. And there are more coming. So guys, have fun. And thank you guys for being part of this. Ivy.
Thank you. Please, a round of applause for Gabriel. Thank you for that introduction and for everything you are in Aylf. I remember joining Aylf in my second year of campus, and when I started attending the Tuesday group, I didn't know who the director was. I would sit in meetings with him, but it took me maybe 2 months to actually know that Gabriel was the leader of that team that I was in, because he was a leader who never spoke or led with force, but you could always feel his presence. But because I was used to the kind of leadership that is asserted, that was very different for me, shaped my leadership in campus and who I am to date. Thank you, Gabriel. We appreciate you. So when I did the introductions, there were a few groups that I forgot to mention, and one of them is the Alumni. We have the alumni here. The group that I also belong to, we have any alumni here? Okay, they don't know how to shout. Maybe you could just raise your hand. Oh! Yeah, they left school and became too sophisticated to scream, and yeah, we understand. You're now professionals, you need to keep your cool. We also have senior friends, we have deans of schools, we have trustees. Yeah, let us just, we acknowledge you, we know you're there. We shall have a moment to properly acknowledge you, and yeah, we shall have, I am unworthy to call your names. We shall have someone else do that. So, next up, when I was, it was actually very many years ago that I was a coordinator of a small group, Aylf group in campus. And I remember having a member join us. And when you join a new group, there's that feeling of, you keep quiet, kwanza, you wait and see how this group operates before you speak. But then one time we just had this new member, and from day one, we knew everything about this guy. From day one, we knew, he was in a relationship. We knew everything, but I'm just saying he was him. And now I have the pleasure of inviting Lavins, whom I saw from that first day in our small group, Kenyatta University School of Law, who has grown his talent as we have seen him. Now an author, a published author of how many books?
2.
2. Oh yes, that deserves a round of applause. Lavins, the floor is, let me leave so that becomes yours. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Ivy. Ivy was quite a person we were all looking up to back in campus, and she gave us that reason to continue soaring on and get our wings beyond the purview of a human side. So my name is Patrick Lavins, but my peers call me PLO, Patrick Lavins Ondego. So my poetry stage name is The Gifted Pen. Well, I'm a lawyer, I'm a writer, I'm an author, but above all, I'm human. So I try to immortalize each and every aspect of life through poetry. So I've done this for the past 6 years, and I'll keep on doing this because there are people who may not put words, who may not have the right words to put down. So we are there, poets, the troubadours, the painters, they help to see the world through different eyes. So this poetry that I'm about to perform right now is for the women who have braved the pandemic to enjoy the light of the sun. So today I would like us to paint and color this room orange in celebration of the 16 days of activism. So this is what I'm passionate about. I'm an artivist trying to use art in activism. So because we are within the 16 days of activism, so it only befits that I do perform this poetry on gender-based violence. I hope you follow. So just because she didn't cook a meal nutritionally sound or prepare one so whole, all you see is a closed union and innate you want to drill a hole. So you just feel like breaking the promise to do away with the deal you made beforehand, everyone else, a happiest day when you said, I do, to love and to cherish in sickness and in health. Those words so true. So you beat her, she falls into a coma, sleep not so sound, and she cries in a struggling spirit while she's on drip. What wrong did I do, my husband? Am I no longer worth a keep? So the hospital bed soaked with her cries, it fails her words. And you don't realize that her body is now more of a scar and seen wounds that only she knows of, and ones that will always make her catch a cold, always cough. You now act like a saint. You stay all night in that hospital ward, seeing what one had to bring her when you got one or none loosely hanging from your palms. The get well soon card. So how inhuman can one be with such misfortunes he can't see? Well, she could be your mother, your sister, her heart would blister, your aunt, or maybe she can't, your cousin is just your relative. So how would you feel if they're treated the same way when violence is the other love offered, so to say? So who will they run to? Can you put yourself in such a situation too? If you do, you realize why your wife is writhing, why your girlfriend is excruciating, and every night in bed she can take no more the pain because her love for you is slowly dying and soon aging. But you can't see that. But someday you will, when the kitchen will only be filled with the scent of memory she left back, when you couldn't appreciate the aroma she caressed that kitchen with, when you considered her inept, a woman who made sure every morning before going to work your hair was well kept. You chose her, you didn't get her by sheer luck, but now such a woman you lack. So you dearly look for her, but nowhere will you find her traces. Her footprints will be washed away and her step marks will be eroded. So children sing the mother bit and tell me if that picture will not be envisaged in their minds. They may not be at a position to defend her, but our tears will not go to waste. A copy of the sin they take, and at the back of their minds, they'll paste. So when you burn a body with water, that colorless liquid that has boiled in temperature slowly rising and now hotter, do you have a heart? When you use your face as an object of training to make hard, was it just and meaning enough to convince me? When you stab on the cheek, the one you once gave to a peck, are you any different than those who are mentally sick? So she's a helper that the Lord gave man. Don't act as if she doesn't exist, lest she leaves as the violence possessed. So I am speaking for that woman, a wife, a girlfriend, whoever. Keep her if you want her there. And if you don't want her to leave, then use your mind, not as a sponge, but as a sieve. So filter distractions, gossips. Not good to sell you talks. Talk things over with her. You know, she may be right or you may be wrong, or vice versa, but draw closer the castle. So understand one another and say no to gender-based violence because she is human, not just an instrument of acceptance. Gracias.
Whew. Thank you, Lavins. Forgive us. Most of us have not been to poetry events, so I'll teach us how to appreciate poetry. We snap. So a snap for him. Okay, thank you. So next up, we're going to get into the next part of the program. But before then, I have just now one more question, which I hope won't be as easy as the first one. Here comes. It's a good one. Before Mount Everest was discovered, which was the tallest mountain in Kenya? And you just raise your hand, we'll have the mic come over to you. Yeah, you can say it out loud. If I see your mouth moving, I bring the mic to you. Yeah? You want to try?
Hello, I
Yeah.
think it's Mount Kenya.
Mount Kenya. Good try. At least she tried. A clap for her. Yeah. Unfortunately not. Try harder. Yes, please.
I don't know whether I'm the one who has gotten the question wrongly,
Yeah.
but you've asked Mount Everest, and then you've specified Kenya. So I'm just wondering whether, is it the question, or that's where the trick really is?
You're asking me to tell you the trick in my question. Well, so you can just attempt. So I ask the question again?
Yes.
Okay. So before Mount Everest was discovered, because at some point it was discovered, which was the tallest mountain in Kenya?
In Kenya specifically.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Apologies. Yeah, so we researched the question. Forget about that. So, yes, in the world. Yes, in the
Kilimanjaro?
world. Yeah?
Kilimanjaro?
Unfortunately not. But thank you for also pointing that out. Sorry. Thank you for that. Yes, Mr. Kosa.
It was Mount Everest. It was always the tallest, always has been. It just simply wasn't discovered.
Telling you wisdom. That table will not be answering any more questions tonight. I am speaking to this side. This side, hello. You are my audience. You guys can deal with Musa. I am, we are with you. So that is the right answer. A clap for him. Yes, so thank you for that. Thank you, Labins, for the poem. As he was talking, I was tempted to clap for him, a Sunday school style. I'll teach you later. That's how we'll clap for the next speaker. Monique, the mic is yours.
Hi, everyone. Yes, my name is Monique, as Ivy has said, but my official name is Monica Waithera. I'm a member of Aylf. I work for Aylf as well. I'm the administrator, and it's good to see all of you here. You look amazing from up here. Yeah, there's one group that I've not heard the MCs mention. I don't know what you have against that group. The Sldp class of 2021, where are you guys? Where are you? Woo. It's your day. Huh? You need to, talk to the MCs and tell them, hey, we are here, we need to be recognized. So I'm here for Sldp. This is a program that we run in Aylf. We run it every year. It's only last year that we missed. So this year, we have the class of 2021, which is Sldp cohort 7. They're graduating tonight. They've been through a program which runs for around 8 months. So this is their day, and today I just want to let you in on what they usually do and what the program is all about, so that if you've never, heard of it, or you've never interacted with it, or if you'd like to, get the info on what happens, I let you in on that. So Sldp stands for Student Leadership Development Program. This class had, we had a 50-50 gender distribution. We had 7 males and 7 females. The class was done online because of COVID. It started in May, and that time we were really not sure whether things would open up. So we decided to do the program online. So they were exposed to Zoom classes, which are a bit of a challenge. But the amazing thing about these guys is that we had almost 90% turnout throughout. So these guys really committed to go through this program, and we are grateful for that. So some of them had expectations on what they would want to. Sorry. Just a minute. Okay. Cool. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so there are some expectations that they had, and one of them, I just sampled a few on some of them, and one of them expected to learn about leadership in depth. Yes, expected to learn about leadership in depth and network with a community of like-minded people. And we want to see whether that expectation was met. There were also people who wanted to be able to grow and improve themselves such that they can be able to improve others where possible. And then the last one is that they wanted to be more independent in making decisions. So don't forget, these are university students, and some of them really make decisions based on their, what their parents says and all that, or their friends and all that. So they wanted to be more independent in decision making, and also to be able to take more initiative towards the betterment of themselves and the community. The last one was to be able to talk in front of people. That really stood out for me because I think at some point I was at that level where I couldn't talk in front of people. But through Aylf and through some of the programs that I've been able to run and be part of, I've managed to get that courage, right? So at the end of the program, we had 83% of them confirm that their expectations were met, right? So out of their 100%, 83% confirmed that their expectations were met. Okay. So the program objectives are as follows. This program is supposed to promote servant leadership model for leaders in Africa. That is also one of the goals of AYLF, the big goals that we want to achieve. The other objective is to further the leadership qualities, values and principles of Jesus of Nazareth. And the next one is to facilitate learning and sharing amongst the student leaders from various universities. And the last one is to foster reconciliation, friendship, and unity among the student leaders across all existing gender, tribal, and religious divide. So as you can see, these are in line with also the AYLF overall goals. And SLDP is one of the programs that we use to achieve those goals. The strategy we used in this program to achieve those goals is through training. We allow them to do transformational projects, and we also do a lot of mentorship to be able to achieve those goals. The content that was delivered just under training as one of the strategies. They were able to go through the AYLF DNA just to get to understand what is AYLF and what are we all about. What are these values that we talk about and how can they be practiced? So they were exposed to that. And then they were exposed to 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. This is a material by Stephen Covey that we've been allowed to use in our trainings. They're also exposed to vision casting and critical thinking. That was a training that they were taken through. They were taken through project planning, Trust Age Masterclass. This was online, and it's also in collaboration with David Hosaga, who is a friend to AYLF. And then they went through conflict management, leadership and values, branding for personal, business, careers, and any projects or programs that they are running, and also project sustainability. Because we realized before we used to do these programs, and then they come up with very good projects, but after the program, they cannot move forward. But this time, we were able to at least expose them to possibilities of having a project that can be sustainable to posterity. So, as you saw, one of the strategies is to ensure that they participate, they initiate or ideate a project or a program and do it in the communities for transformation. So they were able to engage in this. And before, what we usually do, we like to do the evaluation at the beginning and at the end, just to gauge whether they've been able to, be involved in any activity or any community project before the program. The results were shown. So this group, apparently all of them had participated before in a community project. And of course, at the end of the program, they also say that they had participated in a community project. There were some of the comments that most of them, gave us is that they ran, so one of them is, they ran a project that was aimed at motivating entrepreneurial university students by sharing their stories of other people. So this is from one of the members who decided to just share stories of entrepreneurial students in universities through their social media platforms. So he has used the Facebook and other, I think Facebook is the major one, but he also shares in other platforms. So that's a project that he was doing. Another one was a mental health awareness project that it was aimed at sensitizing the youth on mental health disorders and how to take care of their mental well-being. So that is a very good project because we know most young people right now are dealing with issues to do with mental health. Another one was assessment of the water quality on Earth. This is a student who is doing environmental studies. So she decided to do that project, assessment of water quality on Earth, dams and in Machakos County. So that is something that is under environment. And then the last one that I can mention is there's one who is working on a project aimed at revolutionizing local art. So this is an artist, and he has put together different artists, and what he's trying to do is to provide them with mentors and training on how they can be financially stable, and also how they can, make a kill from art, because it's really looked down upon, especially in this side of Africa. But we hope that with that, there can be more of those, and more young people can actually feel like it's a good thing to do, and it will be beneficial to their lives in future. So the community, under community participation projects, yeah. So here, what we were trying to see is what role did they play in their projects. So in this group, we decided to have them have their individual project. Before, we used to allow them to do like group projects. They come together like 2, 3, or 4 people, and then they do a project together. But this group, we decided to let them do individual projects. And through that, we wanted to see whether that was that will be beneficial for them or not. But these are the results that we got. So most of them, at the start of the training, said they were part of a committee that was in charge of a project. Only 8% said that they were part of a committee. But at the end of the program, we had 40% of them saying they were part of the committee. So that means that after the training or after the program, there are more people engaging in trying to drive change through community projects and engaging in one of the committees or any other committees that are actually running projects. So that was good, just to see that growth. The other thing that we were able to see is that as a question we asked whether they spearheaded the project. At the beginning of the program, 50% of them said they had. So, sorry, I think I'm confusing. So baseline, they said it was 13%, but end term it was 50%. Yes, 50% of them said they were spearheaded. So that means also there was some growth in that. And then I participated in meetings as a member. So this is where they just attend a meeting that maybe something is happening somewhere and they attend a meeting. So this was almost similar in percentages at the beginning and at the end. So there were others. No, there were no other responses. So that's how the